Can you believe that an astonishing 90% of you are tuning in but haven't clicked that subscribe button? A change is upon us. Your support means everything. Subscribe and give us a thumbs up to stand with us on this journey. Drop your city in the comments. We want to know where you're joining us from. Today we dive into a story filled with shocking betrayal. I am known as Clare Morgan. For most of my life, I believed love was everything. Strong, honest, and capable of withstanding the storms life throws at us. My marriage to Nathan Cole lasted over a decade. If you had asked me that question recently, I would have firmly claimed that our bond was unbreakable. Nathan Cole was not just my husband, he was everything to me. He was my rock, a constant presence, celebrated in our community as one of the best contractors around. He dedicated himself to roofing, his rough hands and dusty clothes telling stories of hard work. The lingering scent of sawdust and asphalt wrapped around me, oddly comforting, grounding me in a world that felt safe. I worked in the sales department of a wellness company. Though it didn't spark my enthusiasm, the pay was significant, offering chances for travel, conferences, retreats, and valuable networking. Those journeys transformed into a ritual, a vital thread woven into the fabric of my being, I told myself with conviction. Nathan Cole embraced their words, unwavering and resolute. He entrusted me with his faith. I thought I could trust him too. It seemed like just another afternoon, yet it held the power to change everything forever. On that tranquil Sunday, an eerie stillness cloaked everything. Nathan Cole worked on the backyard fence, while I faced the chaos lurking in the basement. After years of towering boxes, I suddenly had a fleeting few days before my next adventure. The moment felt charged, ready to confront the challenge ahead. As I organized a forgotten corner by the ancient shelves, something captivating caught my eye. A shadowy suitcase, tightly sealed and hidden behind a shelving unit. It was foreign to me, an experience unlike any I had ever faced. A deep, unsettling feeling churned inside me. Despite my hesitation, curiosity won in the end. As I sifted through the drawers, my fingers brushed against a paper clip. With a surge of determination, I skillfully worked the lock open. Moments stretched. Then a click shattered the stillness, and I regretted the door's opening. Inside was a leather bodysuit, sleek and shimmering, its dark color captivating and intense. Alongside that, metal cuffs gripped tightly, a blindfold obscured vision, and a mask shrouded the face entirely with only a narrow gap for breath. The air hung heavy with the sharp, acrid smell of chemicals and rubber. My hands trembled as I reached for the items. This was no joke. A shroud of mystery hung in the air, each action laced with purpose. I closed the suitcase with a sharp click, pushing it back into its spot, my heart pounding fiercely. I decided against confronting Nathan Cole. Not right now. The truth struck me unexpectedly. That night, sleep slipped away. My thoughts surged wildly. I kept trying to understand it, wondering if it was a piece of someone else's life, a shard from Nathan Cole's past. Yet, when I returned to the basement the next day, the suitcase was gone. Gone without a trace. I had hidden it from Nathan Cole, my hands untouched by anything else, and yet it was gone. In that instant, I started to truly see him. Nathan Cole seemed ordinary at first, his smiles, cooking, and gentle goodbyes masking something deeper. Still, subtle changes emerged. He checked his phone more and more often, left early, came back late, and insisted he was deeply involved in an important project. As the nights wore on, I caught him stealthily descending into the basement. Answers meant everything to me. I set up a hidden camera, ingeniously crafted to look like a clock, in our living room. I quietly tucked a tiny voice recorder into his truck. A wave of unease crashed over me, but I could no longer ignore the urgent call of my instincts. At first, the recordings played out smoothly, filled with client conversations and the ever-present murmur of background sounds. On the third day, everything changed. Nathan Cole spoke into the phone, his voice a fragile whisper, heavy with trepidation. The task is done, and she is blissfully oblivious. Then no, she has yet to uncover the rest. Still, I must move carefully. She is starting to notice. The recorder fell from my fingers. Whose voice echoed in his ears? What hidden truths dwelled inside him? Even if the full story slipped through my fingers, I knew my perceptions had transformed into something real, no longer just illusions of my mind. In the days that came after, I shadowed him relentlessly. He insisted he was headed to a job site across town, but instead, he was drawn into the hills, far from any construction work. I was surrounded by others. I convinced my brother, Daniel Hayes, to embark on this journey with me. We trailed Nathan Cole's truck until it stopped at a gated estate, shrouded in dense woods. The estate loomed large, its gates towering and security watchful. We hid among the trees, hearts racing as we watched. What drives Nathan Cole to this moment? Daniel Hayes whispered gently. As we scrutinized the fence line, a hidden vulnerability caught our eye, a low spot where erosion had carved out a small breach. Daniel Hayes dove in first, and I followed closely behind. As we reached the rear of the building, a side door stood slightly open, beckoning us inside. The space was a tapestry of marble floors, exquisite artwork, and a gentle, haunting glow. More than just a construction site, it's a breathtaking luxury mansion waiting to be unveiled. Whispers pierced the silence, men deep in conversation, as the clock struck midnight. They will be ready. The newcomers will be unveiled. What is coming forth? We plunged into the dark abyss of the basement. A haunting, fragile melody rose from the shadows beneath. Daniel Hayes pointed to a floor vent, its opening barely wide enough for a fleeting glimpse within. A chill raced through me at the sight before me. A stage that circles the audience. Shadows cloaked in dark robes lingered in stillness. This group features Nina Ellis, who collaborates with Nathan Cole, and Leah Monroe, a former colleague of mine. Their eyes held an emptiness that pierced the soul. Men in exquisite suits sat in plush chairs, their gazes sharp and intense. This felt like a somber moment, not a festivity. It was nothing short of remarkable. An issue has arisen. A shadowy figure in a black suit opened their mouth, words poised to pierce the silence. This evening, we embrace our newest members of the Order with open arms. Join in and seize a fresh start. A waiter swept past, presenting glasses brimming with a rich, red potion to the women. We had to stop them from devouring it. Daniel Hayes felt the piercing shriek of the fire alarm cut through the air. Welcome the chaos. We grasped them tightly. Go! Now! He triggered the alarm. Panic crashed through the building, overwhelming everything in its path. The guests rushed away, urgency in every step. Chaos engulfed security. I sprinted to the platform, gripping Nina Ellis's hand tightly. Let's go, she blinked, a fog enveloping her thoughts, but she pushed forward. Leah Monroe lingered in the shadows. We raced forward, hearts pounding. The hallway lay blocked by security, a tense barrier between freedom and confinement. Daniel Hayes hurled a vase, shattering it against the wall, the shards flying like a storm, creating a momentary distraction. We sprinted to the side door, the same one we had entered. We escaped. We slipped through the woods, ducking under the fence and weaving among the shadowy trees, until we reached the car at last. Only when the estate slipped from our sight did we finally breathe out, a shared sigh of relief echoing in the silence. In a lonely gas station, we found ourselves clutching a burner phone, our only lifeline. A dramatic event is taking place at an estate on Ridgeway Road. People are being swayed, consumed. I urgently seek your help. Our names hung in the air, heavy and unvoiced. As the first light broke, the news shattered the silence. In the stillness of night, authorities stormed a private mansion, driven by a chilling anonymous tip that had emerged. The inquiry unfolds, no arrests made, but tension hangs heavy in the air. In that moment, they understood that their hidden truth had been exposed. Daniel Hayes's phone buzzed sharply, an unexpected message from an unknown sender. Your intrusion was uncalled for. A silence filled the room, the end still hanging in the balance. I am not in hiding, I proclaimed fiercely. If we stay silent, they will erase us. But if we speak out and share what we know, it might make them rethink their position. Nina Ellis nodded, a silent understanding passing between them. Leah Monroe wiped away a tear that had fallen down her cheek, while Daniel Hayes released a heavy sigh. This is completely insane, but I remain with you. We crafted a plan to unveil our story. Under our terms, we must let the world see them before the truth fades away. We realized that the path to revealing everything would be filled with obstacles. It became more than just sharing our observations, it was a powerful connection to the world. The challenge was to win their trust, to make them believe in our words. The people gathered in that mansion were anything but unfamiliar. They radiated authority, a web of figures moving through the darkness with skill, leaving no evidence behind and tying up every loose end. Daniel Hayes reached out to a trusted journalist from his college days, Elena Cruz, known for her relentless pursuit of the truth behind corruption. We found her at a small diner on the city's edge, hidden from curious eyes and watchful cameras. She clung to every word as we revealed the whole story. Nathan Cole's enigmatic demeanor loomed, the mysterious suitcase at his side, watchful eyes surrounding them. The grand estate stood silent, shadows cloaking a clandestine ritual. Women draped in robes moved like whispers, and the coerced ingestion of that crimson liquid hung heavy in the air. Elena remained utterly still, her gaze unwavering, a storm brewing within her. As we finished, she leaned back and said, "I believe you. Yet, if I choose to publish this, prepare yourself for the unavoidable storm. They will not remain silent." Fear had woven itself into the very fabric of our existence. This method guarantees that we have the truth by our side. Elena agreed to keep our identities hidden, at least for now. She would set out on her own journey at first. We laid before her the audio recordings, the hidden camera's glimpses, and the chilling screenshots of the messages Daniel Hayes had received. She promised to reach out in a week, but we never got there. That night, an intruder shattered the peace of my apartment. Nothing seemed to be missing, at least not at first glance. Drawers stood open, our computers had been tampered with, and the camera system lay useless. A solitary rose rested on my bed, its petals alive with color, delicately placed upon the pillow. They knew where I lived. Daniel Hayes, Leah Monroe, and Nina Ellis came to stay with me, their presence heavy with unspoken tension. None of us found solace. We took turns watching, letting the others seek comfort in sleep, while my trust in the police waned. Local officials were rumored to be among the guests at that estate, their presence shrouded in intrigue. The next day, Nathan Cole stood at my door. He looked completely unkempt, with wild facial hair, a pale face, and a palpable sense of dread hanging around him. "Ava, please just hear me out for a moment." I didn't slam the door, though I should have. A part of me ached for answers. He stepped inside, tension coiling in the air, his gaze flickering nervously as if he sensed unseen eyes watching him. Maybe he was. "I never wanted any of this to happen," he admitted, his voice quaking with emotion. What started as just a job, a roofing contract on the town's edge, quickly spiraled into something far more profound. They offered a rate that was double my usual earnings, quietly, without a trace of hesitation. He sank onto the couch's edge, his head buried in his hands. In that instant, everything shifted, and I saw the world anew. Masked figures stand in silence. Women are treated like mere possessions, guided without their own agency. They promised that if I stayed quiet and committed to their mission, they would safeguard our financial future. That was the moment everything changed. The suitcase was never mine. It was meant for someone else. Still, I clung to it. I stared at him, a wave of disgust washing over me. "Did you help them?" "I had no choice," he snapped, his voice laced with desperation. "As I tried to pull away, they threatened you with harm, and I knew they would follow through. Ava, these individuals are caught in a tapestry spun from the very fabric of history. It goes beyond cult status. It envelopes the whole world. They view themselves as the cleansers of society, eliminating weakness and heralding a new age for the worthy." He stared at me, his eyes hollow and lifeless. "With their true nature exposed, they will hunt us down relentlessly." I commanded him to leave. He did, but just before leaving, "They will whisper that a deal is waiting for you. Refuse it." 2 days later, Elena disappeared without a word, leaving only silence in her wake. Silence enveloped her presence. No texts, no articles, just the haunting absence of her social media accounts, swallowed by the digital void. She suddenly resigned, driven by a deep desire to pursue her personal passions. We knew the truth. Daniel Hayes paused, surveying her apartment with a heavy heart. Letters piled up, each one heavy with unspoken words. Elena's heart shattered as she realized her cherished cat was abandoned, leaving a void that echoed her sorrow. She stayed unwavering. She was silenced. That's when we found the envelope stuck to my car's windshield. No return address is given. A solitary flash drive lies in wait. With careful precision, we linked it, using a backup laptop for the endeavor. I found a video during my search. The grainy, shaky footage unveiled a woman tied to a chair, trapped in a dimly lit room. Elena's face was etched with anguish, her lips quivering, holding back a torrent of unsaid emotions. I shouldn't have asked, she whispered. If you catch a glimpse of this, they know who you are. All eyes are on you. 2 paths lie ahead of you. Fade away into nothingness or merge with their legion. Darkness enveloped the screen. In an instant, a message appeared, carrying weight far beyond the last alert. Speak again, and your story becomes your final farewell. Daniel Hayes whispered a torrent of curses, each one laced with frustration. Nina Ellis's tears streamed down her face. Leah Monroe pulled away from the screen, her head shaking in shock. We have to escape, she whispered urgently. This is unmatched. But now I had come to the final destination of my journey. They aimed to sow fear in our hearts, drawing power from that very darkness, but they stumbled. They hurled their threats, unaware that we have nothing left to lose. I meant every word. They have taken away our peace, our safety, and now our friend. I would not let them erase me from reality. We gathered everything we had. Every recording, every journal entry, every message was carefully uploaded to a secure cloud server with multiple backups in place. Copies were sent out across the nation, reaching writers, advocates, and audio storytellers. A digital leak erupted, cloaked in a carefully chosen pseudonym, the Saga of the Scarlet Alliance. Within 48 hours, the story exploded across the digital realm. Discussion boards, Reddit threads, TikTok breakdowns, theory sites. The mainstream media ignored it completely. But the internet erupted with passion. Anonymous voices emerged, weaving together hauntingly familiar stories. Those who saw the rituals ran from the estates, haunted by the manipulation they endured. We were surrounded by others. Yet that also marked our fate. Then Nina Ellis disappeared, leaving no clues behind. In a heartbeat, she found herself gathering groceries. In an instant, she was gone. She left her phone behind in the car. No security footage, no witnesses. That night, a message came through, shattering the silence. Just 3 left, TikTok. I locked my eyes on Daniel Hayes and Leah Monroe. We were losing people fast, but then silence fell. A former member on Reddit reached out, suggesting we meet. They asserted they held names, addresses, ritual schedules, and the locations of the impending rebirth gathering. A crowd converged in a vibrant public plaza, bathed in the harsh glare of daylight. Picked up a camera. Daniel Hayes discovered a tracker hidden in his shoe. Leah Monroe gripped a panic button on a burner phone, her heart racing. At exactly 3 p.m., a woman in a trench coat approached us, her presence heavy with unspoken tension. Her eyes pierced through the darkness, a scar marking her lip like a silent testament to battles fought. "They'll kill me for this," she whispered. "The time has arrived for someone to bring it all to a close." She handed us a USB drive. "This holds everything one could ever yearn for." She turned sharply, leaving behind the tangled web of their true identities, ties to government, funding sources, and private messages. That night, the files were uploaded. What lay upon them changed everything forever. The USB drive held secrets that could shatter worlds. Inside were folders, each one carefully labeled by year, date, and location, holding secrets waiting to be uncovered. It surpassed simple rituals and the gathering of people. It held everything one could ever long for. Blackmail files, secret transfers, hidden cameras in the estate, exchanges between politicians, celebrities, and CEOs. The Crimson Order became something far beyond a simple cult. A tangled web of connections thrummed with unspoken tension. For years, they had gathered the powerful while silencing the curious. Those gatherings became something far beyond mere twisted ceremonies. They became tools of persuasion. Every ritual was carefully recorded and hidden away, ensuring that no one could betray the group without sealing their own fate. We held the evidence tightly in our grasp. Yet, to extract it meant risking the very essence of our survival. We separated, shadows slipping away to avoid being seen. I slipped into the darkness, seeking solace in abandoned buildings, swapping out burner phones daily. Daniel Hayes stayed intertwined, coordinating the data release with shadowy hackers and brave whistleblowers. Leah Monroe disappeared, leaving no sign behind. For her safety and ours, we agreed to avoid contacting her unless it's truly necessary. Then came the plunge. A significant archive has emerged via a secure torrent link, spreading across dark web forums and a well-known whistleblower platform. Within hours, online investigators and freelance reporters delved deep into the documents, their focus unwavering. They painstakingly matched the names, uncovered supporting evidence, and set their revelations into motion. Public outrage ignited, protests ignited, cloaked in mystery. Many renowned individuals suddenly faced the glaring spotlight. Some tried to deny it, but then the video surfaced. Faces hidden, whispers silenced. Still, the symbolism, the setting, and the rituals intertwine with our descriptions in a hauntingly perfect way. The estate burned fiercely, leaving only ashes and devastation in its wake. The perpetrator's identity lingered in the shadows, a haunting enigma for everyone. Whispers of treachery pierced the silence, hinting at a betrayal lurking from within. Whispers arose, suggesting it was a deception crafted by the order itself. It was gone just like that. A blackened husk surrounded by yellow tape as shadowy figures in dark suits stand watch, their faces etched with grief. They fought to obliterate every sign, submerging us in a relentless wave of slander. But that moment was gone. The truth was finally revealed. Time vanished week after week. Then the months arrived. The fury of the crowd erupted. Then silence enveloped the space. A few were apprehended, while most remained free. Power clings fiercely, refusing to let go. But the Crimson Order could no longer survive in the shadows. What will become of us? Nina Ellis vanished without a trace. No ransom note was found. No visuals to be found. Disappeared without a trace. A.I.V. Clark sent a final message from a throwaway phone, the weight of urgency hanging in the air. Independent. Renewal. Stay away from me. I cherished that bond, yet Daniel Hayes and I drifted away from each other. Trauma has a unique power to shape our reality. Our love for each other ran deep. Still, a crushing weight pressed down on our connection. Endless nights spent watching doors, flinching at every echo of footsteps. I left the city behind, and once again, I changed my name. Found a small role in a world where curiosity was a fleeting treasure. I stopped visiting the forums, I stopped following the updates. Then, on a day that would change everything, a letter arrived, its return address a mystery. A lone line etched in deep red ink. The order lies in ruins,